Right now, there's a number of folks working on our enterprise services project, one in particular focused on voice. We've had a number of agencies who've made headway in advances in certain areas in voice, be it call centers, interactive voice response. And although many agencies have used those technologies over the years, some have used the more recent advances in those, and we're leveraging those to apply those, especially to mid-sized and smaller agencies who might not typically have the wherewithal in terms of resources to implement or money to get the kinds of capabilities in those systems on their own. So by pooling the aggregate needs of multiple state agencies, we've started to snowball and build a base of support for this enterprise system, and we're making good progress on that. Mobility has to be the biggest. We certainly have a lot of employees whose day-to-day jobs require them to be out on the roads, whether it's state police or consumer protection inspectors, health inspectors, who have always been very mobile. But now, with the level of mobility at the price point that we can provide capabilities for people, virtually anybody can gain from some of the benefits of the mobile technologies, and it helps us tremendously in some of the disaster preparedness, business continuity planning, where even for a routine snowstorm or weather incident where we need people to work from home or work from a different location, people can do an awful lot more than they could 10 years ago based on how they're equipped. We're seeing a lot more collaboration. Our Department of Administrative Services in Connecticut on the procurement side had reached out a few years ago and offered municipalities the ability to use their portal for procurement opportunities. And that was a seemingly simple thing, but it increased the visibility of what each other were doing and the opportunities for folks to share information about those within the state. Certainly across the state, the National Association of State Technology Directors does an awful lot in sharing solutions, sharing ideas and best practices. NASTD does much the same thing at the CIO level, and NASTD and NASTD share a lot of information back and forth about what they're mutually doing and with their different member focus. The NASTD organization has conferences on a regional basis as well as an annual conference, and at the regional conferences the states have the opportunity to dive deep into what they're doing specifically, so we get a lot of the details about what other states are doing. Very often with new technologies, the challenge is cost. Historically, new technology comes out and it comes out at a high price point, and as utilization starts to gear up, that price point comes down. That's happened somewhat with mobility, but by and large, the capabilities that have come with mobility due to the competitive market, it's come in at a very attractive price point as compared to using products or services that aren't mobile enabled. So we've had the ability to spread the use out more to reach more potential users and increase that collaboration by having more people at the party, so to speak. Well, it's changing drastically where the acceptance has taken off over the past few years and is continuing to escalate. Certainly the cost for that goes up, where some of that was managed at a local individual agency level in the initial stages of deployment. That might have been acceptable, but when it gets bigger than a red box, it begs for centralized management, or at least aggregating the usage and contracting on a basis to make sure we're pooling our resources, getting the best deal for the state. and using it most efficiently, whether it's through mobile device management tools or just policies and best practices. Our agency is fortunate to have a mix, and it's really nice to see the collaboration that just happens between the different generations and the different experience, public sector, private sector folks who come in right out of college, and share those different perspectives. It's a great education process for all involved. We all gain from it on an individual basis, and I think the state gains from it tremendously. And by having or leaving out any one of those groups, the state doesn't get the benefit of that. We just had a discussion here at the conference on workforce, and certainly the diversity of viewpoints and diversity of experience from the different generations really goes a long way toward finding solutions that are grounded with a good foundation in what exists, but also look forward strategically to what's possible down the road. We're actually involved in a project right now where, as I mentioned, taking a look at the costs of the use of telecommunications services, where we have a program that's it's a combination audit detective work project that we're doing with a couple of the corporate affiliates that we know and love through NASTD, and we've already hit $3 million in savings on that project. And what it has done as a side benefit that could almost be looked at as the primary benefit is it's educated each of the agencies we've worked with about the costs, which often in the telecommunications realm are cryptic to them. When you look at your home telephone bill or your cellular telephone bill, it can be pretty intimidating with some of the unique little charges in there, but those little charges add up. And when you look at it on a large enterprise basis, such as a state government, if you can do anything toward reducing that base cost, you're not only reducing that base cost, but some of those associated smaller costs that add up. And we've saved a fair amount there, and hope to continue saving.